Hi, I'm Jeff Murrah, and I want to welcome you to True Texas History, where today we're going to take a look at the life of Ruben Ross and the days of the early Republic. Ruben Ross is another one of those interesting characters and interesting names, because in early Texas there are three different Ruben Rosses. And they are related to each other. And the one I am going to talk about is the one that was the nephew of the Ruben Ross that was involved with Gutierrez McGee. And this Ruben Ross, I had mentioned him the other day when I was talking about the gunfight there in Gonzales with Ben McCulloch. And this Ruben Ross, he was a native of Virginia, a nephew of the other Ruben Ross, and he came to Texas with a volunteer cavalry company under John Quitman. They joined the Texas Revolution, and in the Texas Army, he served as an aide-de-camp for Felix Houston, and that's spelled Huston. And he'll come into play later on in some other aspects of Texas history. Now, after the Battle of San Jacinto, Sam Houston was faced with a dilemma of what do you do with this huge army, because you can't have armed men just running around getting into trouble. And so he tried to keep him busy, and fortunately, Ruben Ross was one of those that stayed in military service. And he ended up being in command of a Texas Ranger outfit that was headquartered at Gonzales. And I believe at the time, this was like 1837, 1838, that he had about 70 men with him. And some of the sources described them as, well-horsed and well-armed, which, for the time was quite a statement, because the Texas Revolution and our army was not, we weren't picture perfect. We were less than picture perfect, and many times we had to make do. And I think we still have a make-do attitude. And he was the captain of what they called the Houston Volunteer Guards. And he became captain of the Gonzales Company of Frontier Ranger. Now, in the early days, things were still not very settled. And in the early part of 1839, there was a lawyer out of Laredo named Antonio Canales who felt like there needed to be a new republic in the south of Texas. And this republic sought to revive the laws of the Constitution of 1824. So, when you see that 1824 flag, it is not just something that flew over the Alamo. This was an idea that was important to many people there. They believed in the ideals of the original Republic of Mexico and what it stood for. They did not like what happened under Santa Anna and some of the subsequent leaders. And so that led them to put together an effort to create what was called the Republic of the Rio Grande. And Ruben Ross was authorized to go ahead and take a group of 200 men down there. And along with being authorized to take the men, he was also authorized to fly the Texas flag in that operation. Now, Canales, his forces consisted of some Mexican forces And he was desperate for men no matter where he could get them. He was even willing to take them from Texas, which he did. And he allowed these men to fight with him, and they fought in several engagements, the Battle of Alcantara, and then later on they advanced on into near Mexico, and this time the Texans took it, and they flew the Texas flag. That didn't go over well with the Mexicans, and so there was a lot of commotion about that. Canales finally had his fill and said, you need to take your Texas flag and go back to Texas. So Ruben Ross went ahead and did that after several military accomplishments along the way, and ended up landing in Gonzales in October of 1839, and that's where the whole episode of the duel went down. Now, what I didn't mention in the other episode was that Ruben Ross was not only a lawyer, but he was a trained duelist. He knew how to duel. He had fought in duels before. So when he went up against Ben McCulloch, he definitely had the edge. Not only that, he had quite a bit of military experience behind him. So he would have been considered, a deadly shot and not somebody to mess with. So, he ended up losing his life on Christmas Eve of 1839 when Ben McCulloch's brother Henry supposedly was inebriated, and they had an altercation, and he ended up shooting Ruben Ross. So that is the story of one of the Ruben Rosses. There's two others, and I may end up going into those later on, but I needed to go ahead and cover this because Ruben Ross is one of those names like Tom Green that there's several people and you have to specify which one that you're talking about. I hope that you enjoyed this episode, and if you have any comments, suggestions, feel free to leave them below. I'm always glad to receive them, and I do try to respond to them as quickly as I can. So until next time, vaya con Dios, my friends. Goodbye.